going on? What's going on, fitness family? And welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful, beautiful day, guys. It's a little cloudy, but the weather is absolutely perfect. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, somewhere around 80 degrees. I'm in the park, surrounded by grass and trees, but yet I'm not being attacked by bugs. What more can you ask for? So while I'm sitting in the park on my off day, my rest day, I got to thinking about the gym, right? Because that's something that I love. And I was thinking about the gym as I knew it when I first joined and as it exists today. Why was I thinking about that? Because there's a lot of conversations online about the gym culture being toxic, about gyms and the gym culture dying, it's on its deathbed. And so I wanted to have a conversation with the family, see how you guys feel about it. I'm going to give you guys my perspective, but I'm also interested in knowing what you guys think about that. Is the gym completely toxic? Is gym culture dying? Let's have the conversation, guys, all right? So let's go.
Did you realize that you were a champion in their eyes? Their eyes. Their eyes. Their eyes. Their eyes.
I was scrolling on my TikTok mainly, but I saw it on Facebook, to a lesser degree in YouTube, but I was scrolling through my TikTok, and there are so many people with so many complaints about the gym and gym culture, and how these complaints are becoming louder and louder, and that the culture is dying. And so I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to give my perspective on the gym culture as I knew it, as opposed to how it exists today, and maybe get some solutions from you guys and some opinions from you guys on this subject as well. So I'm going to start all the way back in the beginning. So growing up as a child, I was asthmatic. I spent a lot of time back and forth between the emergency room and sometimes even being hospitalized as a child when I would have flare-ups of my asthma. As a teenager, and then eventually in my early adult years, my asthma wasn't as bad, but when it would come, the flare-ups would be extreme, major flare-ups. And like as when I was a child, I'd be hospitalized in a hospital. And so I was a part of an organization in my early adulthood. And while I was attending a function or an event, I had a severe asthma attack. And I had to be rushed to the hospital, and I was hospitalized. And I was told not to come back to the organization until I rectified my problem with the asthma, because they were afraid of it. You know, afraid of me having a flare-up while I was there, and God to tell what would happen, so they kind of told me not to come back around until I fixed the problem. So I'm thinking to myself, how do you fix something that you've had your whole life? How do you fix that? I didn't know. As far as I was concerned, I had a flare-up, I pulled out my inhaler, my emergency inhaler, or I go to the hospital and they provide me with some prednisone, which is a steroid, and that would alleviate the problem. It would put a Band-Aid over the problem. That's all it is, a Band-Aid over a bullet wound that doesn't really stop nothing. It just would mask it for a little while until I had another flare-up. But I thought that was it. And so I lived my life that way, all throughout my childhood, my teens, my early adulthood. But there was a gentleman that was a part of the organization. He's from the Caribbean. He's from the island of Jamaica. And he pulled me aside and he said, you know, I can help you. So I'm like, all right. So he said, I'm going to put you on a protocol. So he gave me something to drink, a tonic to drink that would flush me. That was the first flush I did as an adult. I haven't flushed since I was a child. So I did a flush. And he told me to avoid dairy and avoid fried foods for an allotted amount of time. And then I was to come back to him after the allotted amount of time. He would prescribe some more things to me, recommend some more things to me that I would take, and I would see the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, by the time I went back to talk to that brother like 2 months later, I was a completely different person. Completely different. I noticed it within a couple of weeks of me doing the flush and getting up off the dairy especially. I didn't realize that the mucus and the inflammation that was building up in my body from what I was eating was what was triggering my asthma. I didn't realize that. Now, I'm not here to talk to you about asthma today. I'm telling you guys the story for a reason. Now that I had identified what was wrong with me and rectified what was wrong with me, all the things that I couldn't do as a child, I could only exert myself but so much. I couldn't play sports, I played tag, played football the way other children did because of my asthma. I couldn't do it in high school because of my asthma. Now, for the first time as an adult, I don't have these issues anymore. So now I have a new lease on life. And the brother told me, listen, man, go join a gym and exercise and build up your body. And that's also going to help you in the long term, so you sustain less and less and less of these traumatic experiences having your asthma attacks. That's going to help you. I was leery because I was like, there's no way, man. If I go to the gym and run on a treadmill for 5 minutes, they might be carrying me out in a damn ambulance. That's what I thought. But no. I had identified what was causing the problem, and it was basically identified as something I was doing and I didn't know better. So I started going to the gym, and I fell in love with the gym. I fell in love with the gym. It was a great place to go. I couldn't wait to go every day. When I got in there, I didn't know A from B, I didn't know C from D. I was using all the cable machines wrong. I was using all the benches wrong. I know that for a fact. I can look back now and I can laugh at it. But you know what was cool about the gym? It was like a friendly environment. It was like communal. And one of the ways that I learned how to do things better and use machines better was I was able to watch people in the gym. Just look at them. Use the same machine I was using, and I'd be able to identify, oh, I was doing that wrong. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Or people would come up to me in the gym, see me doing it wrong, and be like, no, brother, do it this way. And correct my form. It was a community thing. You were able to do this to men, and you were able to do this to women. And it was nothing. And as I fell more and more in love with the gym, and I started to see changes in my physique, changes in my body, so forth and so on, I became better at this stuff. And so I signed up to become a personal trainer back then. And now I'm going around the gym showing people how to use machines and have proper form on exercise and so forth and so on, men and women. It was passed on to me. I was accepted into the proverbial community. I became a member of the community, then I became a trainer, and I passed it on to other people. It was a great place to be. And I was very social in the gym back then. But times have changed. The gym is no longer, for many people, a fun place to go. And so a lot of people now don't even want to go to the gym. I'm talking about people that love to exercise. They don't even want to go to the gym because of the toxic environment that the gym has become for many, many reasons, which we'll discuss shortly. But let's talk about some other things that have ruined the gym as well. When I first started, yes, there were some corporate gyms, like you had Gold's Gym, of course. You had Powerhouse Gym, of course. You had Bally's Total Fitness, of course, and there might have been a few other corporate gyms, but there weren't as many as there are now. Now, corporate gyms are the entire culture. Private gyms are very rare. Currently, right now, if you've been watching this channel, I have 3 gym memberships, right? I have a membership at Planet Fitness, I have a membership at LA Fitness, and I have a membership at a private gym called Signature Fitness. And when I say private, meaning privately owned, it's not a corporate gym. They have one location. Let's talk about Planet Fitness first. I joined Planet Fitness because I travel a lot. And so they were the gym that I knew of that no matter where you went, they had a location. That was a great thing. And then on top of that, their membership is only, when I joined, $10. If you want the national membership, $20 a month, that's nothing. Back in the days, a gym membership might have run you $100 a month or more. Now we're living in a day and time where a gym membership to a national chain will cost you $20 a month. That was awesome. So I was all in. The problem with that is you get what you pay for. And so because I travel a lot, whether I was in Houston, whether I'm in Miami, whether I'm in Fort Lauderdale, whether I'm in Detroit, Chicago, wherever I am, Atlanta, I would go to Planet Fitness. I would say, without exaggerating, I've probably been to about 50 of them across the country. And out of the 50 I've been to, maybe only 5 of them have good customer service. For the most part, you go to those gyms, the people at the front desk don't even want to be there. They barely talk to you. If you have any questions, they barely want to help you. Do I got to talk about this bathroom situations in those gyms as far as cleaning is concerned? Do I need to? Many of you already know. What has happened is these gyms have been so successful in their business model across the country that now they rest upon their laurels, especially Planet Fitness. They're very good for that. That's why they've lost a lot of memberships within the last 12 months for a lot of reasons, but which you're not going to get into right now. And what's funny is that even for them, since their inception to now, times have changed, they have a lot of competition. Because you have Orange Theory Fitness, you have The Edge Fitness, you have Blink Fitness, you have Crunch, and you have Anytime Fitness. All those gyms have the same price point as Planet Fitness. But those other gyms I just mentioned, Crunch, they offer more. They actually have better free weights. They have heavy bags areas where you can do boxing. And they have benches where you can bench press without being on a Smith machine, amongst other things. They have aerobics classes, they have cycling classes, all of that in the same price point as Planet Fitness. So you would think Planet Fitness would look at that and at least treat their customers the way they're supposed to, but they're a corporate entity, so it's like you get what you pay for, and I guess that includes the people at the front desk, because they just don't care. I don't know if it's a wages issue or whatever, but it just is with Planet Fitness, and everybody knows that. That's why you guys don't see any gym reviews on Planet Fitness on this channel. I'm only going to do one if I have like a really bad experience that I'm going to blow that location up. But outside of that, you're not going to really see any reviews of Planet Fitness, because I think everybody knows their strengths and their weaknesses, and they have a lot more weaknesses than they have strengths, and that's just me being honest. They're the #1 gym if you go to TikTok that people complain about. #1. All right. Moving on to LA Fitness. LA Fitness is a chain that I visited when I was in Houston. I wasn't a member, so I got a day pass at the location in Houston because a friend of mine that I was down there visiting, he has a membership. So we went there, and it was I want to say it was a decent experience. And so I started looking them up, and I realized that they have a lot of locations in a lot of cities too. So if I go to a city that has an LA Fitness, I'd much rather go there because of the variety of equipment that they have, so I can get a better workout in. So I joined LA Fitness. I kept my Planet Fitness membership, but I joined LA Fitness and I started going there as well, based on my experience in Houston. When I came back to New York, New Jersey, I joined the LA Fitness that was 5 minutes from my job, which is the one in Kearney, New Jersey, which is one of the first reviews I did on this channel. And when I joined LA Fitness, I was very optimistic. Of course, they tell you everything is wonderful when you join. But after having gone to that gym for a couple of months, I was noticing that, so when you join LA Fitness, they take within a week or two of you being a member, they take a maintenance fee. There's a yearly maintenance fee. So I noticed after going for a couple of months that they weren't repairing things in that gym that were broken. They were just, I'm talking about specifically LA Fitness in Kearney, New Jersey. They weren't repairing anything. So I was wondering to myself, I was like, yo, what's up with that? So I went up to the front desk and I started asking the people at the front desk, and they started giving me the runaround. They wouldn't allow me to speak to the general manager or anybody above their head. They just started giving me the runaround. I gave it a couple of months, and then like once I was 6 months in, I went back to the front desk and asked again and got the runaround again. I'm like, listen, it's been 6 months and you guys have not fixed anything that was broken in my review. I didn't tell them I did a review, but they didn't fix anything that was broken. Well, guys, now I've been a member of LA Fitness for 9 months. And that same location, some of the same things that weren't working available to members then, 9 months later are still not available to members. And that's why I decided to do this channel. I'm like, wait a minute. Somebody's gonna come in here and get a membership, not know these things, and then get in here and realize that this gym falls short. Somebody's gonna come in here and get a day pass, expecting the gym to have all the things that they paid for the day, and come in here and realize that they don't have a lot of stuff and a lot of stuff is broken. That's not fair. But that's how corporations operate. They'll take your money, but many of them don't feel like they have to give you the service that they're supposed to give you. And that's a problem. But it's not LA Fitness, the brand, because I told you the one in Houston was good. The one in Tampa was excellent. Customer service was excellent. The gym was excellent. Probably that is the premier LA Fitness I've been to so far. It's actually called the LA Fitness Signature Club. That's the best one I've been to. So it's not the brand all across the board, but there's some locations where the customer service is garbage. I'm just gonna call it what it is. I recently visited a branch in Orange, New Jersey. That one was pretty good as well. So it's not all of them, but it's enough where sometimes you have to talk about these things because these corporations, they don't care. Just pay us our maintenance fee every year. Just pay your membership every month. And by the way, one time I switched my my credit card, got a new credit card. So when the time came for me to pay my membership, I forgot to tell LA Fitness I had switched my debit card. When I tell you I was at work and they blew my phone up like crazy, they called me 3 times that day, 3 times. I can't get anybody to talk to me about what's wrong with the Kearney location. I can't get nobody to talk to me about that. Nobody wants to have that conversation. But when it was time for me to pay my membership, I was supposed to make sure that I told them that I changed my card, and you blew my phone up 3 times while I was at work. And I purposefully made them wait until I went to the gym the next day to pay it. I made them wait because you're in no rush to help me when I need help, when I have questions. So I was in no rush to tell you about my new card. I can still train because I can still go to Signature and I still can go to Planet Fitness because I have those memberships. I'm just saying. But these corporations, many of them have destroyed the fabric of what gyms were because they just simply don't care about the everyday members. Again, it's not universal, but that's a thing. And lastly, I'm a member of Signature. Like I said, it's a privately owned gym. And my experience at Signature has been pretty good, although I've had some bad experiences as far as customer service there as well. I'm gonna chalk it up to the time of day that I go, because I go to the gym at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And maybe sometimes some of the people that are at the front desk really don't want to be there. They're sleepy. You know, they're forced by constraint because, you know, that's the hours that were available, whatever it is. I'm going to chalk it up to that because outside of that, it's an excellent gym. Signature is the best gym in northern New Jersey, hands down, as far as the equipment, as far as the classes are concerned, all that it offers. It is the best gym in northern New Jersey, hands down. It's not close. But even they sometimes fall short on customer service. And I'm sure if I would have made a complaint, maybe something would have been said or done. But I didn't. But I have a better shot at that because it's a privately owned gym. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have some of the same stories. I've seen the LA Fitness horror stories on TikTok. I've seen the Anytime Fitness horror stories on TikTok. I've seen the 24-hour fitness horror stories on TikTok. These are all corporate gyms. And these are the gyms that have the most problems. What has your experience been? Put it down in the comments. Another brief topic I want to talk about is some of the staff in these gyms. We already talked about the front desk. Let's talk about some of the trainers. I'm a strong believer, and maybe I'm wrong. If you're a personal trainer, you should look like you hit the weights at least a couple times a week. Am I wrong for that, guys? You should look the part. I cannot tell you some of the gyms I've been to where I see people in personal trainer shirts in the gym, and the gentleman looks like he's about 3 to 4 months pregnant. You don't see any definition, it don't look like the person works out at all. Now, that's not a requirement to get a license. I used to have one. It's not a requirement to get a license. You can get the license if you know the information and you pay the money. You can get the license no matter how you look. You know what I'm saying? As long as you know the information, right? But as a gym, you're trying to sell a product to the people, especially personal training services. You want your trainers to look the part. Because you're going to put a customer with a trainer, and the person is going to say to themselves, well, I have a goal of looking like this. This is the person that's supposed to guide me there, but they don't even have that discipline themselves. That's terrible. Then some of the trainers also, their attitude towards members is horrible as well. You know, I always acquiesce. Being somebody that was a trainer before, I always acquiesce to trainers. So if I'm on a machine and I see that they have a client, they're taking their client around the gym, giving them different machines. If I see they want to use the machine I'm on, I'll cut my workout short on that machine, or I'll hurry up. Or if we arrive at the machine at the same time, I'll acquiesce and let you go first, and I'll come after you. Because I understand that you're on the clock. It's business. I understand that. Everybody in the gym doesn't understand that, but me having been a trainer in the past, I understand that. So I acquiesce to trainers, right? But I want to give a caveat on that. I acquiesce to trainers that are respectful. If you come across as though you have an attitude like you're telling me to move, and especially if I was there already, then I'm going to take my time. That's what I'm going to do, because that's not necessary either. I'm paying my membership also, and if I was using this machine, I have a right to use it. So it's better that we work together. You know, we talk to each other respectfully, and 9 times out of 10, I'll acquiesce. Maybe other members won't, but I'll acquiesce. But some of these people, the attitude, crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna cut that part short because I want to get to the main reason why I'm making this video, so it's not too long. I think one of the main things that's kind of ruined gym culture and made it toxic is social media. Social media is a blessing and a curse. I tell people that all the time. It's a blessing for a lot of reasons, because you have this culture now of what they call gym influencers. These are not professional trainers. These are not professional athletes, professional bodybuilders, none of that stuff. This is just everyday people with everyday jobs that have a love for fitness, that carry their cameras to the gym and film themselves and take pictures, so forth and so on, to put online. And them putting this content online has motivated people by the millions to get in shape, to go to the gym. It's shown people that it's possible for someone with a job, right, that doesn't have a lot of time, maybe a woman that has a career and she also has children and all these other responsibilities, is still able to get in tip-top shape despite having all those things and not making excuses. This has been able to be done through social media. It's been able to motivate millions. That's the blessing. But on the flip side, social media has also served as a tool to discourage millions as well. There's this trend now on social media that's become really, really toxic. And thankfully, people are calling it out. You have gym influencers that will set up a whole production studio in the middle of the gym and be filming, right? And you have people that don't even want to come in that area because they don't want to be on camera. But then you have other people that don't give a damn about being in the background of the video. So they'll go in that area and they'll work out despite the fact that this person has a whole film production right there. Now, because you are in the general vicinity of where this person is filming, of course, at some point, that person is going to look at you, because you got this whole film production studio thing going on right there. So the person is going to look at you. That is common sense. Who in the hell does not look at their surroundings? That's crazy. But you have some people that are so toxic, so attention starved, that they will clip a 1 or 2 second clip of a video with somebody looking at them for a second, edit it, slow it down, whatever they have to do, and then put it on the internet and call the person a gym creep, or the person is toxic. don't know what that was, guys. It was a guy on a motorcycle almost got hit by a guy in a van. Don't mind that. That kind of threw me off. But yes, you'll have somebody that will take a 2-second clip and edit it in a way to make it seem as though the person that's in the background working out is actually staring at them. The person is a creep and making them feel uncomfortable. And this has gone on way more than it should on social media, to the point now where some gyms are talking about banning cameras altogether, which of course would affect my channel as well. Now, I would be by default a gym influencer as well, because I do videos like this, as well as sometimes I have a camera in the gym and I take video of myself exercising and upload it to motivate people as well. So I fall into that same category, but there's a difference. The difference is, for channels like this, where I'm doing gym reviews, one of the ways that I alleviate making people uncomfortable with my camera is if there's a particular gym, like I'm going to review a gym tomorrow. If there's a particular gym that I want to go and review, I go on Google and I see what time they open. I don't give a damn if it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever, and I'm the first person there. That way, nobody's really walking around the gym at that time in the morning. I especially, by the way, love gyms that are 24 hours. Like when I did Fusion, Fusion was 24 hours. I went to Fusion at like 3:30 in the morning, there was nobody there. And I'm able to walk around with my camera, take footage, and I'm not making anybody uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, the camera is an inconvenience and people have been abusing the footage online, so I understand. And so I'll go and get my footage early in the morning so as not to inconvenience others. But sometimes, of course, it doesn't work out like that. But I'm trying to show you that I'm cognizant of what's going on, because I myself am leery, because that can happen to me. Let me run it back. I told you guys when I first started working out, I would actually look at people in the gym. I would watch people in the gym to learn how to use machines. You can't assume because somebody's looking in your direction that they're looking at it to be a creep, or looking in your direction to be a creep. Sometimes people are studying what you're doing with an exercise because they've never seen anybody use the machine in that way. Or they might be new and they don't know how to use that machine or how to do that exercise. And by watching what you're doing now, they're saying to themselves, hey, you know what? I want to try that. It's not always somebody just staring at you and trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's not that, but social media has made it that. Also, you're in a facility filled with sometimes 100 people or more. Of course, you're going to look at your surroundings and see who's around you. Who wouldn't? I think most people have enough sense to understand the difference between somebody looking around the gym, somebody watching you doing something on a machine or the bench or whatever, and someone that's really staring at you in an inappropriate way. I think most of us, most adults, can tell the difference. But the gym culture, social media culture has blurred the lines. And now anytime anyone is looking in someone's direction, it's always negative. That's what's happened. So a lot of people simply don't want to go to the gym, or they don't want cameras in the gym. Social media influencers are responsible for that. When I first joined Signature, again, I go there like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, nobody's in there. I wasn't aware Signature Fitness has a no tripod policy. I didn't know that. So 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, whenever I would get there, I would go into the aerobics room. Nobody was in there. So I thought I was good. And I would set up my tripod and get footage and everything like that. And the first time that I did that, security, because the security's there 24 hours a day, came in the room and told me that that wasn't allowed. I didn't know that, whatever, and he was telling me that their policy is to cancel people's membership. So from my understanding, you get one infraction, and the second time, or repeated infractions, they cancel your membership. When that first happened, I was a little mad about it, because I'm like, dude, I'm in here by myself. Nobody's in here with me. What are you talking about? But as I stepped back from the situation and analyzed it, they cannot make exceptions, because the toxic people, the toxic influencers, it's the motorcycle guy again, the toxic influencers have ruined it for everybody. So they can't make an exception and be like, okay, well, you're good with a tripod over here, but they're not good over there. That they can't make that distinction. It took me a minute to process that, because I was mad at first. I'm like, yo, I'm very, very, very careful not to be in people's ways. I'm very, very careful not to get people on camera, all that. But I understand. So it's stuff like that that ruined the culture. It made it toxic. Because now everybody assumes the worst when they see a camera in the gym. They assume the worst. I'm gonna try to frame this in a way that is not too offensive, but oh, by the way, let me say this too. I know for a fact that the people that go to LA Fitness and the people that go to Signature Fitness, they see me in the gym, they probably think I'm probably the most antisocial person on the planet, which is far from the case. But I'm also careful, safety first. I don't talk much in the gym, not because I'm antisocial, but because I know it's such a toxic environment. I'm very careful about who I interact with. We have to see each other in the gym for a while. You know, I'm getting off a machine and you're getting ready to get on, or you're getting off and I'm getting ready to get on, and we kind of see each other and bump into each other for a while, then we exchange hellos and so forth and so on. And then from that comes, you know, more conversation. But I don't, and this is men or women, I don't talk to people in the gym. I know they think I'm antisocial. I don't talk to people in the gym at all unless I've been seeing them for a while and they seem cool, or they come up and talk to me first. When I was working out at a gym a few years ago, the female trainer, you know, everybody talked to her. She's a good-looking female, like everybody talked to her, right? But she's noticed I never said nothing to her. And she literally came up to me one day out the blue in the gym and said, "You're mean," just like that. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "You don't talk." So I had to explain to her, it's not that I'm mean. It's not that I'm antisocial. I'm just careful. And she understood what I was saying when I told her. But I don't go to that gym anymore. So I know the gyms I go to now, people probably think the same thing. Like I'm always just have a serious face, whatever like that. That's to protect myself, because people nowadays are crazy. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not trying to be on nobody's viral TikTok video or Instagram video for them to get a couple of likes. It ain't that serious. So yeah, I don't really talk to people unless they want to be talked to. And number two, I've heard stories of people getting their memberships canceled for saying hello to people in the gym. And the person you said hello to took it the wrong way. There are stories of that on TikTok. So I'm good. Now, what I was going to say, and I was trying to frame my words, is I've been to some gyms, especially in Florida. Man, some of the outfits that some of the women wear to the gym should be worn to the beach. It's like, that's not a gym outfit. I'm sorry. It's not. And you're only wearing that for attention. You're only wearing that to get your likes and your subscribers or your followers up on social media. That's why you're wearing that. And you come to the gym dressed like that and you're making other people uncomfortable. What makes other people uncomfortable? Because if somebody looks at you, who knows if you're gonna flip out? Like, what are you looking at? Well, you're in the middle of a gym, pretty much dressed in a bikini, and you're telling me I gotta cover my eyes? Like, it's the culture is just crazy, but that's where it is. It's not unreasonable to feel that way because we see what's trending on TikTok. We see that stuff. That's why Joey Swole has a whole channel. He's getting bank off of TikTok and YouTube, getting paid, exposing this stuff. That's how prevalent it is. The dude done started a whole channel, and all he does is expose stuff like that. That's how bad it's gotten. The toxic gym culture. I wouldn't be surprised, you know, I ain't gonna get into that, but I'm just saying that he's done a whole channel on that, and other people are calling it out as well. So it's toxic, definitely. Lastly, members towards other members, man. Again, I acquiesce to people all the time. You know, but I'm gonna give you guys a quick story. So there was, you know, I usually have a set time I have to be in the gym and be out. That's why I go so early. But this one particular day I was in the gym and I had time, and I was doing legs. And so I was gonna use the leg press machine, and there was another member that was gonna use it too, but I actually arrived at the machine before the member did. And I was about to clean it down, and they came up and they was like, "Oh, you're about to use this?" I was getting ready to use it too. So again, me being somebody that's been around the gym for a long time, haven't been a trainer in the past, I acquiesce, like, you go ahead and use it. There's a bunch of other machines I can go use and come back to this last. I'm showing gym etiquette. Do you guys think the etiquette was shown back to me? The person gladly accepted, right? This is my fault. I'm taking accountability. This is my fault. The person gladly accepted my courtesy, got on the machine and proceeded to stay there for about 40 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating, 40 minutes. Well, you might ask yourself, well, hey, how does somebody stay on a leg press machine for 40 minutes? Well, let me write it down for you. I'm sitting watching. I go to another machine. This person puts their stuff down and proceeds to go to the rack and grab some dumbbells. Now this person is going to do supersets, right? Not even supersets, sorry, giant sets. I apologize. They're going to do giant sets. What is that? They're going to do one leg exercise, which is the leg press machine, right? Then they're going to get up and they're going to do another leg exercise with the dumbbells. And then they're going to do another exercise with no weights. And they're going to go in a circle on that. So after they go through the first 3 exercises, they take a long rest and get on the cell phone and just scrolling away. Then after a long rest, they do it again. Get on the cell phone, scrolling away. And repeats this process for like 40 minutes. Then somebody comes, and oh, by the way, in the midst of that, of course, people are coming over and they're socializing and talking. And I'm sitting there looking and I'm saying to myself, well, I don't want to make a scene on the floor, right? But it goes to show you the mentality of people. The people in the gym are really selfish and only care about themselves. It was not so back in the days when I first started, but that's how it is now. And that's the point. That's the problem. You know, not cleaning machines after yourself. It's partially the gym's fault for the cleanliness of the gyms. Shout out to Signature Fitness. Their bathrooms and the gym is always clean. Shout out to them. But LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, partially the gyms are to blame for this, but partially the customers are to blame for this as well, the members. You don't have courtesy for other members. You're nasty, and your nastiness now affects everybody else. You use something to wipe the machine down, and you throw it on the floor, and then when you're done with the machine, you leave it on the floor, but there's a garbage right there. Now you have everybody sweating, their pores are open, you have germs everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Or you leave a machine, and the next person comes and the machine is filled with sweat. You didn't even look at the machine before you got up, you didn't clean it, nothing. It's crazy. The gyms do hold some responsibility for that as well, because when I was a trainer, I remember once the gym closed, at whatever time it closed, nobody stayed behind to clean the gym. You close the gym, whatever condition it was in is what it was in, and then when the gym opens the next day, it's going to be in that same condition as we closed it. Meaning, if there was stuff thrown all over the place, it's going to still be there in the morning. I did a review. I was going to do a review of LA Fitness in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I couldn't even put that review out. That's how bad it was. So what it was that I could tell what happened because I worked in the gym. So what happened was I got in there first thing in the morning when the gym first opened at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and there was wipes and garbage all over the floor around most of the machines. As you walk in, you're seeing this. Then I walked into the bathroom. The garbage in the bathroom was overflowing, and there was trash in the sink. And the floors were dirty and all that. This is first thing in the morning as soon as they opened up, because there's no cleaning crew in between to clean the place. Because again, going back to corporate, they're going to give you the bare minimum. That's what they're going to do. It was so bad that I said to myself, I can't even give this gym a review, because that was right behind me giving the Kearney location a bad review. I'm like, damn, I can't give a second LA Fitness a failing grade as well, because then it's going to look like I'm just against them. And I'm not trying to destroy nobody's business. I'm not. I've had great experiences at LA Fitness. I've had a great experience at the one in Tampa, the one in Orange, New Jersey, the one in Houston. I had good experiences there. The one in Fort Lauderdale, customer service was bad as well. But the gym was dirty. And I knew what I was looking at as soon as I walked in there, because they close the gym and they don't clean it in between. And that's partially because of the members. If the members would take care of the gym, throw their garbage away and the trash away, right? Knowing that the corporation is not doing it, they're not hiring people to do it, then the gym wouldn't be in that condition that it's in when other people come in. That's the problem. We're not even going to talk about re-racking your weights. We're not even going to talk about that. Yo, when I went to the gym in, the other gym I went to in Fort Lauderdale, the gym I went to in Tampa, is the first time I've seen something like that since way back in the days. If you don't re-rack your weights, they charge you $10 on your membership. That's an improvement. If you don't re-rack your weights, they charge you $10 on your membership. I don't complain about re-racking weights. I look at that as active rest. If you guys don't know what active rest is in between my major sets of exercises, by me moving weight around, like putting weight on the bar or putting weight back on the rack, whatever I'm doing, I'm still moving around. So I'm active even though I'm supposed to be resting between sets. It's called active rest. So when you think about it that way, you don't get upset. But everybody doesn't think about it that way. And other members don't give a damn about other people. They'll get off a machine, you know, let's say the leg press machine. They'll go up to 8 plates on each side and get off the machine and just leave it like that. Then you have a 100-pound female that wants to use the machine after this guy just left it, and she has to take all them damn plates off because you didn't. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's become very selfish and self-centered. That's what's happened. So I don't want this video to be too long. What is the solutions? Can gym culture get better? Can it go back to the communal experience it used to be? I don't know. You know, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think so. I think some gyms will be better than others, but I don't necessarily think it'll ever go back to how it was. But one of the ways it can go back to what it was or how it was by people just simply doing one thing, just being considerate of others. The golden rule, do unto others as you will have them do unto you. Don't be so quick to judge somebody in the gym and think the worst of them because they might be looking in your direction as though they want to do something criminal to you or something like that. It's not always that. We have to get away from, I understand that these things do happen, but more often than not, they don't happen. In the gyms that I go to, none of that stuff happens. I've been in these gyms now for a couple of years. I've been with Signature 2 years. I've been with LA Fitness for about a year. And of course, I've been in plenty of gyms before that. Plenty, right? And I don't think that any of the gyms I've gone to and had memberships with, I've ever heard a story of that stuff. Usually, the people in the gym, for the most part, at least back then, were always very helpful and very friendly, you know? And so that mentality needs to go away, and people need to stop trying to create scenarios that don't exist just because you want to get your followers up on social media. But all of this I'm saying could be wishful thinking. And maybe there's some things that I missed that I didn't mention. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What do you guys think about what it is I was talking about? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And what do you think can or should change to make the gym culture a better culture, a better experience for people, especially new people? If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'm doing a gym review tomorrow and one on Monday, so the reviews are coming back. I kind of took a little time off from that, but I got y'all. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next tour. We're out of here.
Introducing the powerhouse of vitality. Unleash your inner energy with our cutting-edge energy and muscle builder. Feel the surge. Conquer the day. Elevate your performance. Redefine your limits. Power up with Muscle Force Max. Fuel your potential. Ignite your strength. Order now for a life charged with unstoppable energy. Visit EliteElements.com.